The rate of addiction is skyrocketing in this country. There were 64,000 overdose deaths in 2016 alone, and yet the victims of drug abuse today, not who you or I might expect. The new face of addiction, millennial addicts.
Even in my darkest hour, most people would never look at me and think I was an addict. I came from a pretty typical middle-class family. Also, I went to a private school.
There's no way you would identify me as a junkie. My parents, they both work in law enforcement. We had a good life. I was doing well in school.
When I was 13 years old, I was getting picked on for the way I looked. I thought if I used drugs and alcohol, that would make me cool. The cool kids party. It took me down this hole I honestly thought I would never get out of.
I was 14 years old. I was standing outside of my honors English class. This kid, he said, "You should take one of these." It was Xanax, and I instantly fell in love with it. Then I discovered Adderall, and it was the miracle study drug. And so I could stay up days at a time and write the 10-page paper and get an A and really look like I had everything together. And then I eventually started selling drugs at school. The high of those kind of activities was almost better than the drugs. I felt unstoppable.
At this point, I would be mixing opiates, benzodiazepines, alcohol, and I would tell myself, these are my college years. People are supposed to do this. My tolerance built so fast. Within 2 weeks, the amount I was using quadrupled.
When I graduated high school, I started selling cocaine, ecstasy, and acid, every opiate pill you can imagine. Around the summer of 2010, my friend had these 80 milligram Oxycontin. Went from taking a half to taking a whole to smoking them. I was smoking an Oxy, and then, I woke up 7 days later. I had overdosed.
From good kids to full-blown addicts, Sonia and Soraya's addiction soon had them risking time behind bars.
I had just graduated from college. I was invited to go on a road trip. The hotel rooms, drugs, alcohol, always provided. And I was told explicitly not to ask questions. We did this about 6 or 7 times within a 3 or 4 month span. One day I received a call, and this is how I learned that we had been transporting cocaine from Southern to Northern California, and 20 kilos were missing. I feared for the safety of myself, my family, and I was told, do one more run, and it'll make up for the missing 20 kilos.
I had overdosed. I just took too much. It was just this one time. I'm okay. They found me, my temperature was 80 degrees. I had this ventilator in my mouth. I couldn't feel my legs. I was dying. For a while, I was this really grateful person, but that didn't last very long. I started to go to jail for petty theft, commercial burglary, grand theft. In 2011, I was in a car accident. It was a DUI. The DUI was dropped for lack of sufficient evidence. It was this huge, victory that I felt. See, I'm untouchable. It got a lot darker after that. There were many, many, many overdoses.
We take out 60 bricks of cocaine while the drop was happening. And I remember thinking, it's done, we're safe, everything's gonna be okay. And at that exact moment, the Sacramento Sheriff's Department shows up, guns drawn, get out of the car, keep your hands up.
I had lost everything. I had came from this middle-class suburban family to living at Union Station. I was broken and I hated myself.
I was arrested December 21st, 2014. Next month, I will be sentenced. I'm looking at about 51 months in federal prison.
I smoked marijuana, alcohol, acid, ecstasy, MDMA, cocaine, crystal meth, heroin, Percocets, Norcos, Vicodin, PCP. I puffed nitrous oxide.
I used Adderall, mushrooms, MDMA, smoking DMT, cocaine, Xanax, oxycodone, Vicodin, Percocet, and I was drinking heavily.
The only difference between me and the Skid Row junkie is my zip code. We're all just seconds away from picking up again.